So, hello and welcome to our breathing space mindfulness meditation practice for today, Sunday, the 27th of July. As you know, we have been working our way through this book, Falling Awake, by Jon Kabat-Zinn. And at the moment, we're looking at the second part of his book, which goes through different postures or different ways that we can practice and how they enhance our practice. So today, um, taking our practice from the chapter, which is all about sitting meditation. So while those of us in the Zoom are getting organized, I'll just do a little introduction of the ways that we can practice sitting down. And today I'm sitting on um, my Zafu. I actually have two because I like to keep my hips fairly high. So if you feel comfortable sitting cross-legged, then absolutely feel free. The aim really is, if you can, to try and keep your hips above the level of your knees. Um, and the same with your Zafu. You're sitting with your hips up high, your knees down low. And I have a thick cushion underneath me as well, like a meditation cushion. So that supports my ankles and my knees, because the aim here is not that we're suffering, it's that we're finding a posture that gives us a sense of stability. And equally, you could be sitting in a chair. If you're in a chair, maybe make sure you have a cushion to support your lower back. And also, quite important that your feet are on the floor. And if you've got little legs like mine, maybe place a cushion or a yoga block on the floor so that you can place your feet on top of that. And that way, um, your body feels secure. So the whole point of this posture is to achieve a sense of stability. As I sit here, all the weight of my body comes down through my spine, through my pelvis, and down through the cushion. My knees are not really taking a lot of my weight. They're more for just the balance and stability. And then my legs in contact with the cushion give me a real sense of being connected to the earth. Coming up from that, whether you're on a cushion or on a chair, the back, you invite your back to have a sense of dignity. And that means different things for different people. So we're not trying to, contort our body into anything that is stiff or rigid or unnatural. You should be able to kind of feel that there's a balance somewhere, and even just move the body around on the axis that, comes down through the pelvis, and find a place where the body seems to just kind of settle into an effortless but upright and dignified posture. You feel like the vertebrae are kind of stacked in a way that holds the weight without us having to brace our muscles. And then this allows our shoulders to relax. So your arms, if you're sitting in a chair, you could have your arms, your hands resting on your thighs, palms down or palms up, whatever feels better for you. Or you can clasp your hands and just put them in your lap. But whatever way you hold your hands, even if you're kneeling down or cross-legged, have the hands, the weight of the hands supported somehow by the body. I know people who sit meditation retreats, they often take something like a blanket or a scarf, and they put it around the body like a belt, and that way they can rest their hands like this. And this is important because it takes the weight off the shoulders and allows the body to completely relax. You want to have the pelvis tilted just ever so slightly forwards if you can. So the weight is on the sit bones that are under your pelvis. And then your neck and your head. The aim is, again, to find that place where the head feels nicely supported. So gravity and body work in harmony to a sense of effortless balance. And sometimes if we're striving or in a hurry, there's a natural tendency to stick the chin out and the shoulders kind of brace that posture. Or sometimes when we're tired and the neck slumps forwards, that puts strain on the back. So we want to just have the head balanced on the spines, whatever way feels right for you. And then just tuck the chin just a little bit down, not forcing it down. Not up. You'll find that sweet spot. Everybody has an internal idea of where that is that suits them the best. Using this posture and arriving into posture as a way of arriving into embodied awareness. And just checking in, first of all, with the body, the mind, and the emotions to acknowledge and recognize what is here in you right now. Maybe you're planning to do something fairly soon. Maybe you've just come from doing something. There's a certain energy, resonance, a mood, a feeling, maybe an issue that is coming into the thinking. So let's take a moment or two just to check in with what's alive in you today and what's arriving into practice with you. For a quick check-in, it's always nice to check in with the belly, with the chest. Often we carry a lot of emotional energy in that heart space and the gut space. Just check in with heartbeat and breathing. Get a sense of whether this is fast or slow, deep or shallow today. And then expanding around that, checking in with the whole body. Maybe the muscles hold a general sense of comfort or discomfort. Maybe a sense of ease and comfort and calm, or restlessness, agitation. Maybe tiredness or energy. And then also we can check in with the mind. This early part of our practice is really an arriving into awareness. So as that awareness is achieved, as we arrive into this resting in awareness, what do we notice coming in to practice today in the mind? Particular thoughts or patterns of thought. And as our sitting meditation, we are literally sitting with, being with whatever is here in body, emotions, and mind today. Sitting with the impulses that arise. And if we can, in whatever way we can, just allowing them to be. And we're going to use our practice as a way of finding this stable and embodied and centered and grounded posture that allows us to relate to all the different things going on in mind and body in a more spacious and open and accepting way, also more connected. To give yourself the gift of being present with what is here. So having checked in, we can use our posture now as a way of finding an anchor. Yeah, this posture that's going to take us deeper into our sense of connection and awareness of our present moment experience. So we can check in with the feet. It doesn't matter if you're sitting cross-legged or if you're kneeling, if you're in a chair, your feet will be in contact with a surface that is secure and solid. Maybe some parts of your legs are also in contact with chair or cushion or mat. So let's take a few moments just to tune into those points of contact. And if we can, get a real sense of our connection to earth, stability, from there, come up through the legs to the pelvis, the sit bones, the buttocks, the thighs. Notice how the weight of the body is supported by whatever you're sitting on. And this allows us to let go a little bit of our own effort and find this posture that might change as we go through practice, this place of balanced and stable practice. Then feel your weight of your body up through your spine, your back. As we sit, there might be certain muscles within the core that are working and others that are relaxed. So we can sense into the way the body works with gravity, works with gravity, works with the chair or the cushion to support your weight. And the sense of dignity, of coming up into awareness through our posture. Sensing into shoulders. And if there's any tension in the shoulders, well, just accepting that this is normal. We could also invite a sense of softening, of arriving into a place where we have nothing to do, a place where we simply rest in balance and awareness. And then sensing into head, neck, throat. When I say sensing in, we're inside the body here. We're not thinking about the throat or judging it or evaluating it. We're literally feeling the body within the body, a place without words, a place of what we might call interoception, proprioception, knowing the body the way the body knows itself through sensation, tingling or pulsing, buzzing, tension, relaxation. And the jaw and the face. Now, just expanding awareness to getting a sense of this whole body balanced, grounded, connected. And if there's a sense of the energy of the earth that's holding you and supporting you. This solid and stable base for our practice. And then a sense of our dignified posture. That we are actually in practice here. We're not here to fall asleep. We're here to be present, to arrive into this moment by moment flow of present moment awareness. And using the posture even just to say a very quick well done to yourself. Well done for being here. Well done for making the time for your practice and for settling into a posture that is both grounded and dignified. Through this, we can invite our focus into the breathing. Last week we were practicing lying down. This week we're sitting. As we tune into the movement of breathing in the body, how is it felt in a sitting posture? As we sit with this stable posture, we don't need to put any effort into maintaining the balance of the body now. We really can just tune into this very specific thing. How and where do we feel the body breathing? Perhaps we feel it in the movement of belly. Maybe the movement against clothing, or simply the changes of pressure within the belly and the movement of muscles. When we're sitting, we often feel this in the back as much as in the belly, because the diaphragm is actually anchored into muscles that connect to the back, the spine. Perhaps also a sense of the ribs and the chest and the lungs expanding on in-breath and relaxing on out-breath. And underneath this and through this, of course, we can also just keep awareness of our posture. If any tension or bracing is creeping in, if any slumping, or maybe just as we settle into awareness, we realize our posture isn't quite the way we want it to be. There's no obligation here to sit rigid and still. Mindfulness is being aware of our moment by moment experience, tuning into that, and then in this very mindful and present way, we can adjust, we can take care, we can find our balance again, find our center, connect to this sense of the body sitting with the breath. And of course, this is the time when we begin to notice that we are often thinking, daydreaming, planning. The stories playing in our head, or we're reliving a memory, or perhaps trying to predict something that might happen in the future. So when we sit with body and breath, arrive into this place of timeless, effortless awareness, we become remarkably aware of how busy the human mind can be. This is perfectly normal. We all have busy minds. But this posture, this sitting with the breath, gives us now a new way of relating to those thoughts. And for now, we can practice having agency to just say, right now, thinking mind, I don't want to focus on you. You keep pulling me away. But with my awareness, I can recognize this and then make a choice, a gentle and kind and effortless choice to just drop my awareness back into the next breath, the next in breath, the next out breath, and how these are felt in the body that we are sitting in right now. This is not pushing thought away. We're not trying to shut things down or achieve some sort of blank mind. In fact, the opposite. We're here to be aware of what is going on in the mind. But right now we're using our connection to body as a way of grounding ourselves in the moment that is here right now. So we don't get pulled into past or future, as the mind has a tendency to worry or ruminate, go into patterns, drive impulse, make judgment. We can be aware of that, but we don't need to focus on it. We have this choice to practice coming back to the present moment, lived experience of breathing and the movement of breathing in the body as we sit in practice. And it doesn't matter if today is a busy mind day where the mind keeps wandering, or if this is a grounded day where you feel more able to connect to the breath. It doesn't matter as long as you are in awareness of what is happening. So every time we become aware, we're thinking, we're daydreaming, we're planning, we're judging. Say, well done. That's why we're here. Well done for sitting in awareness and noticing how often the mind pulls us into thinking. And well done for using that awareness just to say, okay, I recognize that thought, but right now I'm not going to follow it. I'm going to intentionally bring my focus of attention back to curiosity about how the breathing feels in the next in breath, the next out breath. And we just repeat this over and over. Breathing, drifting, noticing, returning, breathing. And if you are sitting, perhaps you can also tune into how this posture gives us the stability to then free up our attention to go where we want. There's no effort required to maintain this posture. It's reconnecting to how the body is supported by floor or chair or mat or cushion. And then going around the breathing, let's see if we can connect now to body. But rather than doing a traditional body scan that starts at the feet and comes up through the legs, let's do this another way and start by ways that we know that we are connected to the world around us. That we are sitting in a space that has a temperature. Perhaps tuning into skin and awareness of temperature, not just in the places where the skin is open to the air, but also places where the skin is within clothing or connected to chair or cushion. Noticing all these different variations of temperature that can exist moment by moment. Temperature is quite a useful way of staying in the moment because it changes all the time. A breath of air, a change in emotion, the physiology of the body that's constantly adapting and changing. The temperature of hands and feet, of legs, of torso, of face, constantly changing. We can tune into this, all the different layers, moment by moment. And through the skin and even muscle, we can we can also be aware of how the body is literally connected to surface beneath us, this sense of pressure and weight, and how the body's weight is distributed through maybe the knees or the thighs, the buttocks, the feet. Also, how the weight of the body is held by spine, shoulders, whatever you're resting your hands on, the neck. In this, we can tune into bones and muscles, as well as the sense of skin touching clothing or skin in places of contact. Even the sense of touch of breathing, touching the body inside the body. And we can also go deeper. We can ask the body, what's alive in me right now? Physically, even emotionally, we can feel this in the body. Maybe after sitting for a while, there are places that begin to tighten or places that are beginning to feel sore. We realize that we're bracing muscles or holding our posture in a way that begins to feel uncomfortable. If you're kneeling, maybe you feel it through your knees. Then if we can we just be with this? Let the body know that you are listening. But instead of that instinct to get away from discomfort, in our mindful posture here, sitting with the body, we just say, yeah, you know what, body, I'm going to listen to you right now. I'm just going to sit and explore those sensations. Listen to the language of the body telling me what it's like to be sitting right now. Where does it feel tight? Where does it feel relaxed? Where is there a sense of discomfort and where not? And even go into those sensations very gently. Oh, is it a pulsing? Is it a buzzing? Is there a sense of heat or cold? Is the sensation deep or on the surface? And really just, yeah, let the body know that you're here and you're present and you're listening to everything it has to tell you. And there's no right way or wrong way to be. Some days the body holds a lot of tension, but at least now we can be aware of that. We can notice where the tension is and how it feels in the muscles and the joints of the body. And through our awareness, we can bring this sense of care, maybe some choices that we could make that might help ease that tension. Choices about what we do, or choices about how we follow thinking, or choices just to accept that we are not always required to do things, sometimes just to be with what is here. Sometimes there's no fixing needed or no solution, just awareness. We might also just notice this natural human tendency to want things to be different. Either there's too much of this or not enough of that. Or we notice a little twinge and we instantly go, oh, that's something wrong. I need to fix that. I'm obviously doing something wrong. I need to find a solution. Isn't it interesting how just sitting with the body, noticing discomfort, we instantly see how the body mind has these habits of fixing, doing, changing, judging, evaluating. And we just sit here and observe that. Go, wow, wow, that's so interesting to watch how that happens. So, around this awareness of body, we can also have awareness of sound. So many layers. We have our body in posture, the breathing in the body, the muscles and the bones and the organs of the body, and the sounds in the world around us. We just allow this all to come through and into awareness in its own way. And we just sit here going, wow, oh, so many things going on in this moment by moment flow of experience. And now that we're in this place where we can allow the flow of sensation, breath, posture, sound, we're in a place where we can now open up to observing or being with the busy mind, but with enough space and awareness that we are not caught up in the thinking. We're more with the thinking mind, aware of the thinking mind, noticing how thoughts arise and fade, how certain patterns of thinking sit in the mind, how they drive impulse or even emotion, shame, pride, sense of success or failure, like or dislike. And we can just sit here now in silence, in balance, in the body, with a bubble around us of kindness and compassion, the intention of just sitting with our current body, mind, thoughts, feelings as a curious, compassionate, and kindly awareness. It doesn't matter what you are experiencing as you sit. The purpose of our practice is to use this stable posture as a way of just being aware of everything that is alive in your experience right now. And whether that might be pleasant or unpleasant, can we find a way to just sit with it and be in that experience fully immersed and aware through the physical body, through awareness of emotion, and even awareness of thinking, of thought, awareness of impulse or judgment, and just be with it, allow it all. As Jon Kabat-Zinn says, put out the welcome mat. Bring that thing into your practice and ask it to sit down with you so you can be present with it. So a sitting meditation is a very practical way to come straight into the moment. Maybe you're sitting in the car at traffic lights, and as you sit with the red lights, there's nothing to do. You can connect to the body sitting in the chair, your feet on the pedals of the car, awareness of the temperature of the car, maybe, or the breath in your body, the thoughts in your mind, and just those few moments of mindful presence. Maybe you're at the doctor's or you're in a waiting room. You might be blessed with a few moments to sit and just be present with what is here. Or you can set yourself some time for a formal sitting meditation. Maybe just 5 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, or an hour like we've just done. This posture is a beautiful way to come into balance and presence, to check in with your emotions, your body, your thoughts in a stable and spacious and compassionate way. So I'm going to end our recording there. For those of us who are here in Zoom, give us an opportunity to very carefully get up from our posture, especially if you've been kneeling on a cushion like me. I'm at the moment trying to work out how I'm going to get my knees to get me back up to standing and so I can come and sit on a chair at the screen to chat with you. So give yourself a few moments as you come out of practice to mindfully connect with all the movements required to stand up from your chair, or maybe stretch, maybe bring some movement into the body after sitting, maybe a sigh or a yawn, or just moving the fingers and the toes. Yeah, you can feel that change in your energy. And well done for your practice today. Well done for being here for yourself and for each other. I'll end our recording here and we'll come and have a little chat.